Hello and welcome to episode 4. And I thought today I'd share with you the experience I had with a customer last week. And to be honest, I should have thought this would have come up before, but it never has. And the story is this. I sold a guy a couple of handheld radios and he phoned me up and he said, "Thanks for the radios." He said, "But there's something wrong with them." I said, "Is there? What?" And he said, "Well, I'm talking to my friends on channel 37, he said, and they're working fine. He said, and I can talk to all my friends, and the 2 radios I've bought, we can talk to anybody on them. They all work fine." He said, "But I tried it the other day in the marina where we moored, and the radios don't work." I was a bit confused. And then a light bulb moment happened in my head. And I said, "Channel 80. And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, that doesn't work the same as 37. And there was a sort of blank look on his face. And I explained what was going on and all was sorted. But then it occurred to me that I don't think I've ever seen that ever written down anywhere. Now, to actually understand what's going on, you have to understand a little bit about how radios work on the marine band. So what I've done is put a couple of radios onto channel 37. And if I speak into one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, both these radios can talk to each other. And if we had another 10 people with radios on channel 37, everybody would be talking to everybody else. Works perfectly well. And that's because all the radios on channel 37 transmit on a frequency of 157,850 megahertz, and they receive on the same one. So it's only one particular frequency that's in use. All the radios transmit on it, all the radios receive on it. And that's what's called a simplex channel. Now, that's fine, but what happens if you actually select a different channel? Okay, the radios now I've set to the UK Marina channel, which is channel 80. And Marina channel 80 does something a bit different. If I press the transmit button here, nothing happens. Pressing transmit on both of these radios does not let you talk between them. Now, the weird thing about channel 80 is it's what's called a semi-duplex channel. Now, the difference is, instead of using one single frequency, it uses 2. That's why channel 80 is normally used in things like marinas, where there will be somebody in charge and all the boats talk to that person. So the person in charge, normally on shore, transmits on a frequency of 161,825 megahertz. And that's what all the radios in the boats listen to. The boats, however, when they press their transmit button, they transmit on 157,025 megahertz, a completely different frequency. And that's the one that the shore station receives. So the net result in a semi-duplex channel is that the person ashore hears everybody afloat, and all the people afloat can only hear the person ashore. It means that 2 boats cannot talk to each other. In actual fact, it does actually get in the way sometimes. I mean, so if someone is sliding into a mooring and someone else is trying to get out, those 2 people can't talk to each other on channel 80. It doesn't work. They can only pass the messages via the shore station. So while for safety, that's a great idea. One person is in charge and that person can talk to everybody. It does mean all the people on the water cannot talk to each other on that channel 80. Now, there are quite a lot of the marine channels that are semi-duplex. So when you buy a radio, if you don't know much about them, you'll see there's like loads and loads of channels, and most of them have nothing on them. And they're a sort of hangover from when we used to use ship-to-shore radios to talk into the telephone system at home. And they needed this semi-duplex system to make that work. But we don't have those any longer. So it's no use, for instance, going to something like, say, channel 2 on your radio and your friend setting channel 2 and expecting to talk to each other, because it doesn't work. If you actually go onto the internet and Google VHF marine band frequencies, you'll find there's some big lists, and you can actually see the frequencies that you're using. And to be honest, they are in the back of the instruction manuals, but of course nobody ever reads those. I know that most radio channels, when you look them up, are usually designated things like port operations or ship to ship. But there are an awful lot of channels that don't have any labels at all. But don't fall into the trap of thinking you can use them all, because quite a few of them just won't work. So if you buy a new radio, don't expect that you can automatically talk to somebody else who's got a handheld or a set inside the boat on any of the channels that are in your radio, because only the Simplex ones will let you talk to each other. All the other ones are semi-duplex, and they rather expect a certain type of equipment to be at the other end, and you probably won't have that. So don't worry if you think your radios are faulty, because they're probably not. That's semi-duplex and simplex for you. Anyway, I hope that makes some sort of sense. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.